back, friends. In the time you were away, we worked through the final stages of fairing. The first coat of fairing is the thickened epoxy from last episode. The second coat is a high-build primer, which Dad is mixing now. This is a two-part primer, so you need a third paint bucket to mix, and you'll definitely want to get a drill attachment paint mixer. You really want to make sure this gets mixed very well. Think of the first thickened epoxy layer as a coarse layer for large fills, and the second high build primer layer as a fine layer for small details. Each layer, including the first several layers of epoxy from last episode, each slowly build on each other, smoothing out the features of the boat. Sort of like those 9 to 15 layers of probably lead-based paint, let's be honest, on the trim in that old house he grew up in. The trim slowly lost its sharp details, and so too, the boat slowly, layer by layer, is smoothing out, becoming fair. Now we move inside the boat. Before we proceed any further on the exterior, we need to attach the spray rails. So Dad gets the interior epoxy in good shape to add the mechanical fasteners. We'll be using 3M marine adhesive as a bedding compound on the exterior, and stainless steel screws from the inside as permanent clamps.
Okay, so we got your basic green adhesive sealant. This is really good stuff. But once you break the seal at both ends, you've only got 24 hours to use it. After that, it goes bad.
This seal right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go do like a little bit of laundry, and then we can get right on that. Is that good?
All kidding aside, pretty straightforward process. Apply to the spray rails, stick to the boat. Just make sure you smooth out the sealant so you don't end up with any air pockets. The spray rails didn't quite want to seat all the way against the hull, so we got a little help from some friendly ratchet straps. And we still needed to use a little leverage, but in the end, the system worked and we got it attached. Did I say this was pretty easy at the beginning? There's a perfect thumbnail if I've ever seen one. The next day, time for the straps to come off. It's pretty incredible to see how smooth the boat is looking now. This is why you don't cut any corners during fairing. Since we had to scarf the spray rails together, there was a little bit of roughness at that joint. Since it was a small job, we grabbed a can of marine body filler. We also found a few more small spots that needed more fairing. Now it's time to apply actual, regular marine primer. No more fillers. This is the second to last coat for the exterior of the boat. There's always been this disconnect in my mind when I see the finished exterior of a boat. My mind doesn't seem to acknowledge that the surface under the paint isn't one solid piece. Like someone who doesn't know anything about cars, Looking into an engine bay, they only see the engine, not the individual parts. With a fiberglass boat, I suppose that's mostly true. But with a wooden boat, well, you've seen how many pieces were involved. It's always been hard for me to imagine that a boat was actually made mostly of wood when I look at the finished product from the outside. After 2 coats of primer, we did a light sanding to rough up the surface for the bottom paint. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time as we apply the bottom paint and get ready to flip the boat.